The following show features episodic breakdowns of Jackass, either performed by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. For your safety, avoid listening to this podcast at all times. Hi, I'm Mikey Aaronworth.
I'm Jason Wellwood.
And I'm Chris Aaronworth.
Welcome to Jackass.
Welcome to Jackast. It's the podcast where we're on a path of destruction through every single episode of Jackass.
We're three lifelong fans of the show, reliving the belly laughs, bad ideas, and broken bones.
Guys, it's part 4.
It is part 4.
The fourth and final part. And it's kind of sad.
I'm sad, but I have a question for you, Chris. Why do you always wait to inhale until after I've said my line? I'm like, three lifelong fans of the show, reliving the belly laughs, bad ideas, broken bones. You're like, well, like get one in the chamber, get a little bit of breath in the chamber and just get it out.
You know, like
I'm just ready to speak and get into it. So I don't know what you want me to say. Like,
no, that's the thing is you're not ready. You need to be ready.
I am. I just want to take a deep breath because I got a lot on my mind.
Oh,
like, for example, the fun fact of the day.
Okay, here we go.
I knew it was coming back. I knew it.
It is. So this episode came out on May 20th of the year 2022. We spoke about a few other facts, but this is probably the most significant one.
Yeah.
This might have been the day where, officially speaking, Mikey became a cunt. Like, basically,
okay.
If you were listening to last episode,
way earlier than that.
You did, but we kind of got along. I kind of fucking hate you now.
Okay.
So, like, last episode, he's bitching about me, about the table, having drinks here, doing this, making noise. I'm doing everything I fucking can. And he still is giving me shit. And you know what? I just want to dedicate the fun fact of the day to fuck you, Mikey.
Oh, wait, why specifically on the 20th of May?
Because it just seemed fitting. I have no other rhyme or reason, but I fucking hate you, and I need to dedicate a date to it. So the birthday of me hating you is officially the 20th of May, 2022.
Do you have a name for that day?
Yeah, it's called Mikey's a Cunt Day.
Okay, well, you're not really going out for creativity, but I like it. It's function over form.
I don't need creativity. It's just pure fucking hatred and emotion. And Jay, do you want to celebrate this birthday with me?
Hold on, Chris. Is there a start time on that? Sorry, I'm just putting something in my calendar so I don't forget.
Exactly. This is what I fucking love to
12
hear.
p.m.
We're going to post it on Instagram every year. May 20th from here on out is fuck Mikey. And by next year, I hope we have so many fucking fans.
Yeah.
I'll give his address.
Okay.
I'll give his girlfriend's address.
Okay.
I'll give his mom and dad's address.
Your mom and dad's address?
Just flood him. I don't give a fuck about them, man. If they birth you, fuck them too.
Hey, here's a question for you, Chris. You say you're going to post it on Instagram. I post the things on Instagram.
No, you don't. I send the messages.
Fair. So you're just going to send messages to each one of our followers reminding them?
Just the good-looking girls.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. I noticed that, Jay. You would fucking love this. When I log into the @JackassPod account on Instagram, they're like, you know how you'll see stories from like people you've looked at recently, and like it's like all stories that you've looked at, and the more people you're paying attention to, those are the people who show up in your feed more. There's a very clear demographic of people that Chris is looking at when he logs into the Instagram, and messages that are being sent as well. So Chris is trying to use his clout as a dating profile, I guess.
No, I don't really have much clout to begin with. So I'm trying to work with what I got. You know what I mean? I'm a podcaster. I'm a sex symbol. It is what it is.
Don't those two things go hand in hand? Podcaster, sex symbol?
Why do you think I got into the business? Let's be honest.
That's fair.
Just finding pure fucking internet nerds to actually want to talk to me.
Well, listen, speaking of working with what we got the last part of Jackass 4.5 that we've got to go balls deep into, just like Chris wants to get in with all of our fans. Jay, where are we at right now?
Oh, is that the segue?
It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one.
Fuck. Yeah. If you turned on your Netflix, because we all know you didn't pirate this one, right?
Yes.
Right. You would have saw on the thumbnail for this bad boy, all the boys, including Eric Andre, in these like fucking white smiley face suits with these, green frillies on the fringes there. This is that segment. Basically, it's a tennis ball to the balls. Basically, they've got a real tennis player here. She's got quite the arm on her, and they're going to see who can down the clown. Basically, the thing I love about this sketch is it's like Excuse me. Sorry, boys. Just a second.
All right, Jay's
Somebody
getting
fucking
emotional.
take
He
over.
really takes to this. He remembers going back to all the.
No, it's not that. It's I can smell the bleach coming off of Chris's hair from all the way over here, and it's just really. I'm getting dizzy.
You guys are fucked, man.
The continuing saga
I am
of
a sex
Chris's
symbol.
hair.
It's official now. Since I got this new haircut.
Hey, Chris,
Girls are looking at me a little bit
symbols
different.
take a lot of
And
forms.
so are guys.
Is your sex symbol that red circle with the line through it? As in, don't go near this guy.
If you like me looking like this, you're fucked. You got issues. And to be honest, those are kind of girls I'm trying to find. So
Okay.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
strategy. Oh, okay. See, now it all makes
100%.
sense.
I want girls
Right.
that have problems, just like me, so we can
Well,
relate. and we
but
can
here's the
cuddle
thing.
under the covers.
Here's the catch, Chris. You can be with any girl then, because if they have you, then they've got a big problem on their hands. So it goes hand in hand.
Speaking of having a big
big
problem on
problem.
your hand, boys, Poopies, he has a big fucking problem here. They call Poopies out in front of the tennis player for supposedly calling her a liar. She can't hit that hard, so you know she's going after him first. But then she doesn't. She starts, whacking balls at Eric Andre. I don't know if she was just nervous or what, but everybody's pointing out saying, Poopies is this guy, this one over here. And then when she fucking zones in on him, it's like Terminator vision, lock on. Oh, she's got her
Ace.
fucking target now. Ace, right in the nuts. First shot at Poopies. He goes down. I was going to say this is basically like an elimination tournament. So it's not just one or two guys got hit. This is like a fucking last man standing event. What'd you guys think of this one?
I found this so funny because I have in my notes, you can see how incredulous I become from the beginning of this stunt to the end of it. Because the first time she hits and it hits someone in the nuts, I'm like, holy shit, it actually hit someone in the nuts. And then she does it again, and I'm like, oh my God, what are the chances it hits someone else in the nuts? And then it hits another person, and I realize, because like Eric takes a couple, and then she hits Poopies right in the dick, and then you realize everyone's getting hit in the dick. And I couldn't comprehend that you could, with a tennis serve, aim for someone's dick and hit a target that small. This is so impressive. And then she goes to hit Preston.
That makes a lot of sense, Mikey.
Why is that?
I play you in tennis. We joined the tennis club, and you just don't have a serve. Like, I got a serve. You have the athleticism.
So what happened to the rest of your game then?
I don't have any other part of the game. I'm just good at dick shots. That's basically it. That's what I came. That's what I got into the game for. You fucking try and be all cool. You wear your sweatbands and fucking wear your Wimbledon white outfits and shit.
Chris, you can't
buy tennis shoes.
Why am I picturing Mikey in a miniskirt right now?
Well, just like Chris Pontius
He
wore.
basically is.
Which, by the
Please
way,
He wears
stop
these
this.
fucking short shorts where his nuts hang out of. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
man. You're just trying to be like fucking Bjorn Borg over here with your fucking headband and
no,
shit.
it's Irving Zisman with my nuts hanging out. That's what I'm going for. But how funny is it that we started this stunt off and Jay didn't even feel it necessary to mention the fact that Chris Pontius is in a tennis skirt and like a crop top? Like that's how
that's true,
used to we've just
So
gotten to
hot.
the fact that Pontius is going to be there in outrageous outfits.
Mugatu is so hot right now.
No, Hansel is so hot right now.
Hansel is so hot
You
right
should know
now.
that he's also got blonde hair, Chris.
Yeah. Well, do you know why I got excited about this one?
Why's that?
When I was a
Tell me.
kid, I don't know where you guys are listening from in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but in Canada, we got a place called Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
And there's a fucking game that this is based on with the clowns with the little fur around them, and you have the little shooting gun, and you shoot tennis balls at them. And I lived for that game. Like,
It was a great
I
game.
would spend 95% of my tokens that I got for any birthday party, anytime we were at Chuck E. Cheese, on that game, and the remaining 10 I would try and hit big on the lights that went around in a circle, and you had to stop it on the thing, and you could get big tickets that way. But it was all about the fun for me, and I fucking love that clown game. So when I saw this bitch, because I don't like her for some reason, I don't know why. The second I saw her, I'm like, fuck her. She's gross. I don't like her.
What issue do you have with her? She's great.
I don't like her at all. I don't know. She sucks. I don't like her. I don't like her face. And she's hitting my friends in the nuts. I don't know.
I don't know.
But you want
Just let
her to
him
hit
have
them in
this
the
one.
nuts. What is
Not
happening here?
her. I want like a cool person.
is
I don't like her
essential to
face,
the,
man. It comes down to her face. It pisses me off, and I don't fucking like her. So, yeah. I don't know. I just, whatever. It is what it is.
But
Do you ever see someone you just don't like? I see Mikey, and I don't fucking
Yeah.
like him and his stupid bitch-ass mustache.
It's not a stupid mustache. It is bitch ass, but it's not stupid.
It's stupid as fuck. I fucking hate you. I'm gonna start claiming fucking drinks.
All right, so fucking.
Why are you doing this? Why the animosity? I did nothing to you today.
Yeah, don't spill that one too while you're at it. Listen, Preston.
Yesterday you did though when we recorded yesterday.
You guys need a moment. Should we just settle this right now?
No, Jay. Why don't you give us your thoughts on this one?
It was good. Next segment. I don't know what you got more to say about.
Well, no,
it?
you mentioned Preston getting his hit. But
he already had the welt, and then she hit the welt.
That's
again.
the thing, because
So it's a
she's
double
going,
welt.
she's like
Yeah.
1 for 1 nut shot, 2 for 2 nut shot, 3 for 3 nut shot, and then I'm like, oh, she missed on Preston. She's not such a machine now, is she?
Yeah.
But then you realize she's aiming for his fucking welt that he got during the elephant gun. Like that was sinister of her. I like this girl. Chris is just, I don't know what he's got up his ass today.
Would you fuck her, Mikey?
That's not the measure of a human being. What do you?
Yeah, that's how you like a girl or don't like a girl.
I mean, I guess to some, I'm not subscribing to that. I would, I don't know. I'd let her take a couple tennis shots at me, I guess. You know, who knows? No commitments or anything.
Back to the CBT, eh, Mikey?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I really like this one. You're mentioning, Jay, that we're going to move past it, which, yeah, of course, we're there's not a ton to say about it, but I loved this one. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it is reminiscent. I mean, it's a direct paying homage to that clown game that we remember from Chuck E. Cheese, with like the clowns look like that as well. I think this could have been a main feature in Jackass Forever. So I'm kind of surprised to hear that you weren't as big a fan.
No, I don't know. It was good. It was a good time. There's better things in the movie, though. I like seeing Eric Andre up front and, him kind of just regretting his decision to be here, which is funny.
You definitely get that vibe, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fucking role reversal. He's not used to being in the guy getting fucked with, and it's just funny to see he's out of his element. But I don't know. It was nice to see. The guy's just doing another one of these dick shot things. This seems like a theme in the fucking movie. And I'm not even gonna jump on and say that that's them not having better or more clever ideas. I think out of all the dick shot stuff we saw, I was never not entertained by it. So there's some truth that this is it's a timeless strategy. Yeah, seems to work.
Yeah, just more nut shots, the better. I'm always down for more nut shots.
Yeah, as we'll talk about later in this episode, there is the magic of the penis. Pontius is going to wax poetically about that in just a little bit. But if there's nothing else left to say, I will point out that SteveO was the last man standing in this one. So congratulations to SteveO for, holding out there. And as we move on, this next segment it's pretty meaty. I wasn't sure how much we were going to talk about it or what, but I have a feeling that there's a lot here to chew on. What happens here at this point in the movie before it wraps up with one final stunt is we just kind of get a behind the scenes look at the opening and the making of this film. And there's a little sentimentality thrown in for good measure. I felt like this was a good way to kind of wrap things up. So we start off here. We see the Pontius cock monster.
Hang on, I gotta stop you.
What,
Chris? Chris is just giving me the finger now. Why are you doing that? What is?
It's your fucking dick, man. You pissed me off yesterday. I don't have my fucking hookah today because I'm trying to abide by your stupid fucking dumbass rules. I'm bitter.
I was kind of looking at my notes, Jay, as you were introing the next segment, and I just noticed Chris kept putting his hand up. I minimized my notes, and he's just giving me the fucking finger. Like, I don't understand what I've done.
It's funny because I forget that this is going out to the listeners, and I'm not giving you guys the finger. And Jay, is the mystery man. He's that cloak dagger who's behind the camera scenes who we're never going to know who he is. Mm-hmm. Maybe one day, who knows, but I don't think he's just going to be a mystery man forever. Yeah. So when I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking at Mikey, and he just looked fucking stupid at the moment, and I just want to tell him to fuck off. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, they say he who lives in a glass house and has blonde hair shouldn't throw stones, but we'll move on to the next segment.
Now you're getting to double birds. All right. So we get Poopies up on a fucking windowsill. He's up in a building and he's showing us, what's going on the set here for the big intro. They got an exploding car, which I was surprised that, when I saw this intro before this behind the scenes shit, you kind of just assume they're just faking all the explosions. It's all CG,
100%.
all computer generated.
I totally agree.
There's a solid fucking base here of explosions and things that they are, prettying up in post, but it's cool to see that they did a lot of things on set. including, you know, flipping cars and, you know, the whole fucking cum shot. That's all real. So,
Well, it's
good
not.
on
It's
them
not
for
real
sticking
cum.
practical.
No,
Well,
guys.
I mean, who's to say?
Who's
So-
to say?
I, you know what? This is a good segue into this.
Okay.
Do you remember a few episodes we were talking about a guy that sent us the pig cum budget?
Yes.
And we couldn't find it anywhere?
Right.
He sent it to my personal Instagram.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull this
Yeah,
up.
of course, it was
because
your personal Instagram. That
well,
checks out.
the thing that made me realize this, when they were talking about how expensive the set was, it made me realize that I think it actually was real pig cum involved in the situation.
That was a lot. Here, you look it up, and I'll just say this
Yeah.
to add on to give Chris some time. Jay, you mentioned the explosions, and I need to amend something that I said when we were reviewing Jackass Forever, because the explosion in the theater when Wee Man and Dave Englund go flying, that thing's gnarly as fuck. There's a lot of fire involved in that, and I explicitly said when we were reviewing Jackass Forever that I didn't think there was any chance that that explosion was real because the flames engulfed them. It turns out it kind of did. It's badass. So I apologize to the listeners.
a big shout out to our listener, Michael Schofield. M. Schofield.
Didn't he escape from prison like 10 years ago?
Yeah, that's it, maybe it's not his name, but yeah. Apparently his tattoos on his body have a map, but
Yeah.
so as he put it, so kindly put it, the average boar, pig, whatever, comes an average of 250 milliliters per load. There's 3,785 milliliters in a gallon, so about 15 loads in a gallon, for a total of 56,775 milliliters for about 15 gallons. After looking into it, I found the average price per load, 250 milliliters, is about $100, but can go as high as $500 for for prize pig and sperm content. But we will go with the lowest number. So $100 a load and 15 loads in a gallon. 15 gallons would equal 225 loads at about $22,500 in total.
22,000.
So thank you, Michael Schofield.
Wow, that was listen, you know, a man who's probably smarter than the engineer who tried to break his brother out of prison. I like having those figures. That's fantastic.
He did break it down in prison break terms, eh? This
did,
fucking
he
guy.
did.
Maybe it's
I
the
like-
real Michael Schofield. Who knows?
I like the idea that he takes off his shirt and he has instead of a drawing of a map, he just has the formula for pig cum written all over his body.
Oh, man, that's a lot of happy pigs, though. So if they did spend the money, then, hey, they're doing a service for the animals, too. So really, who could be mad? PETA? Nah.
No, Peter will find a way to be mad. I was enamored by this whole segment, this weird kind of like strict making of. We kind of talked about how Jackass 4.5 is sort of a making of Forever. But this is like a strict, like nuts and bolts, specifically more towards the opening scene and how it got so high in the budget, how they brought directors of photography and puppeteers and set designers that are like Oscar winners and everything. And I was enamored by this. I was fascinated by it. And then every so often you're reminded of the fact that it's centering around a naked Chris Pontius with his dick painted green. And it shows scenes of them like just very earnestly trying to figure something out and pointing to like storyboards and this and that, and then just looking at Pontius just stretching his dick out for an Academy Award winning set designer. And you're like, how are we taking it this seriously? I love that we got to this point where Jackass is, as I always said, fucking art at this point. It's so good.
You're saying, how would we take that so seriously? My biggest question is, honestly, how do you not get a boner when you have a string attached to your dick and it's tugging? Like, I would 100% have a full-blown boner most of the time.
With a string attached to it?
Yeah, you never do that? You wrap it around with a blanket string and just kind of give it a little jerk?
No. Are you supposed to do it to yourself or have someone else do that for you?
It's better when it's someone else, but I'm kind of lonely. Like I said, I'm having a midlife crisis, so I kind of got to do these weird things by myself.
One day you'll have to show me what it's all about, Chris, you and me.
Yeah, see that little earphone wire?
Yeah.
We could do a double tug there. 'cause
Okay,
you got
little
two
double
sides.
Dutch rudder. I like this idea.
Yeah, it's like a double Dutch rudder.
we
It's
can
not
get, we
gay,
can
right?
get Jay to pull it for us, huh?
Oh,
How's that feel,
that'd
Jay?
be hot.
Yeah, I'm in. Why not? At this point, nothing surprises me. I'm like, you guys are fucking like bipolar as fuck, though.
Yeah, I guess
weren't
we
you
were just arguing for like 40 minutes straight, and now we're like, you want to
were
choke
at
each other
other's
off?
throats. Yeah.
You
now
ever
you're
heard of the
drinking
phrase
shit.
makeup sex?
That's
Yeah,
true.
I was just gonna say though, this is natural. The flow of tension, it ebbs and flows. I'm just glad you guys are back on good terms for the next 10 to 15 minutes, so we can, we can make some ground here. Never mind, that didn't last very long. Listen, guys, listen. At the end of the day, I'm happy this fucking shit was in here because there's one thing that I think we can all agree was it's just another day at the office for Johnny Knoxville, but for anyone else, this would have probably have been like the type of scenario that you have to stop and think, am I really about to do this? It's the moment when Pontius's balls keep sinking back down into the hole as he's laying underneath the table because, he's got to have the big green monster going through. It's just a natural thing. I don't know, like, if you notice, but, the penis is a flowing entity. It's a fluid entity. It likes to shape and change as the day goes on. And Pontius's balls they kind of just flow back with gravity through that hole. And by the way, the street that his balls are resting on made of sandpaper for some reason. Don't know who made that.
That couldn't have been sandpaper. That looked like a foam that they were rolling through it. It had to. There's no way it was sandpaper. That
Knoxville said it was a sandpaper road.
Really?
He did say that.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn! Why? What a weird addition. That's bizarre.
I mean, Knoxville's the hero though, right? Because he comes in from underneath, 2 fingers, he pushes those back up into the hole and holds them in place so they can get the shot.
Well, ideally, if it wasn't sandpaper, it's like grip tape on a skateboard.
Right.
Like the nuts would be falling back and forth, right? So it's going to give it a little bit more.
True. And maybe he's itchy.
you know?
Maybe it's doing a little bit of a scratching for him. That could be nice. I think that Knoxville here, I like that he channels his like anti-Aaron McGahey when Preston Lacey's doing the nutsack speed bag and Aaron has to be like the fluffer to bring his balls through. Johnny's pushing them right back up that hole. They're like each other's yin and yang. It's really nice.
That's a good point.
I also love how loving and sweet Johnny was as he was approaching Pontius. He's like, "Hey, Chris, this is me coming up here. This is my hand you're about to feel." And he's so like touching about it. And Chris is like, "I trust you, Johnny. You do what you need to do." It was like very heartfelt.
It's because of the Me Too movement. It doesn't just apply to women.
That's true.
Guys could get Me Too too.
That's true. That's true.
Are you insinuating that Pontius was Me Too'd in that moment? That he didn't really want
I'm saying
his
he wasn't
balls to
because
be-
he was given.
Oh, okay.
He was given the proper. Hey. Like, it's just like every time I have sex now, it's not fun. Before I used to just get to punch a bitch in the face, choke her out, and then have a good time.
Christ, Chris.
But
what the
nowadays,
Not if you're a tennis player,
are you
apparently.
okay with me slapping and choking and having that good time?
See, he's the good guy after all.
I'm learning,
right,
guys. Like I said, it's slow progress is better than no progress.
Chris is dog whistling to his Instagram followers right now. He's trying to hook, line, and sinker a couple of them. I think
That's what this is.
he's got someone
You
in
gotta
mind.
put those feelers
He's
out
got
there.
someone
You
in
know what I
mind.
mean?
Hey, how about this? Speaking of partnering up, we see one scene that they filmed with a couple explosions, and I mentioned in the Jackass Forever episode. You see that one guy running down an alleyway dressed in full tennis gear, and I'm like, there's no fucking tennis courts in the middle of a downtown core. I realized this time because you see him again, he's the only person dressed up in tennis. So there's a backstory there that I want to know more about. What happened to his tennis partner? Did he not make it? Did his tennis partner get crushed by Pontius's dick monster? Because that's tragic.
I would think
that's
so.
tragic.
He got crushed like I crush you when I play you in tennis.
Yeah, I think you crush the ball out of bounds more than you're crushing me on the scoreboard. But
I hate aces on you. Do you ever get aces on me? No.
don't need them. Don't need them.
Yeah, so what? You have fitness and you could run around for a long time and get me tired. It's some fucking lame ass shit, man. I'm a power
Yeah,
player.
you be fitting these balls in your mouth, these tennis balls, baby.
I can't even be mad at you for that. That was a good one there.
Just the mental image of your fuzzy green tennis balls right next to Chris's blonde head is I don't know. There's something to that.
It's a good image. No. If you should come watch us play tennis sometime because you'll see it.
Man, I love with this whole behind the scenes bullshit though that it wasn't originally even going to be the intro to the movie until they realized how good everything looked with Pontius, him doing his thing. So they kind of just went out of control with it. The idea just kept growing outwards, as they say. And, next thing you know, you're getting explosions, cum showers, whatever. Yeah, it's just, I'm glad it was a happy accident because that intro, like I said, has been one of my favorites out of all the movies so far. So, yeah, it's cool to see this stuff come together. There's a shot in here of SteveO doing the porta-potty role that I want to talk about here real quick, where they kind of show what happens inside. You get a closer look that I think you guys were onto something. This was not real doo-doo, not this time. That's got to be some staged poop for sure. But there's SteveO's in there like moaning and groaning after this thing flipped over a bunch of fucking times and they got the shot, and he's just yelling at the camera, "Did we get it? Did we get it?" And he like
such pros.
He sticks his head out. He's got like a half poo face going on. He's like this monster, just like looking out at the camera. One eye's like sealed shut with feces, and the other eye's just wide. And he's just like looking at the camera. Did we get it?
It's great. It's fucking pro, man. It was a great image. That image of him coming into frame, like it looked like he was out, and he just kind of like recoups and just looks right up, and the half face of shit. It was funny, man. I like that. That's what I live for in these behind the scenes things. Like show me the after effects sometimes.
Yeah, he hit his head real fucking hard in there, so he took a shot for the intro, and I think it paid off. But I mean, man, like you listen to the story here, they had all sorts of outside talent from guys who have like even worked with Marvel and shit. I thought that was really cool. You know, they made this thing come alive, and good on them for doing it. It looked good at the end of the day. Jackass has more penis in it than any R-rated movie, says Knoxville at this point. And this is where we get the whole penis bit. Like Chris Pontius here, he just like... Man, I've never heard in my life, I think, anybody speak so fucking poetically about the penis. Like, he says they're biologically fascinating. We get to do all these great things with them. And he says, why do we all forget how great penises are as we go into adulthood? And you know what? He's so right. He's so right.
It's great. It reminds us. I mean, Chris mentioned in the last episode when we get that interstitial of the guys doing that tumble down the hill completely nude. Like, it is mesmerizing. There's something like we don't see it enough. We need to normalize. Like, listen, I know everyone's saying release the nipple, release the female nipple. I say let's go one step further for the boys and release the penis. Let's uncensor that.
No, Mikey. No? Let's take it down my angle a little bit and say, let's make penises great again.
Okay, make penises great again. Were they not great for a while?
You know what? Girls were talking shit about them. You know, they're like, oh, they're dangly, they look ugly, yada yada yada. And then I'm like, you know what? Who doesn't like a fucking good cock?
That's a great question, Chris. I don't know that I could answer it. Jay, do you have any answers on that one? Who doesn't like a great cock?
I don't have any answers on that one, but I can't wait for the bright red SpeeDo underwear that's going to come out that says "Make penises great."
Yes.
I'm
part of your campaign. I look forward to it.
Okay, do you remember how I said I was going to dye my hair for an episode?
Yes.
I need to get some "Make penises great again" SpeeDo.
We should get those and sell them with the Jackass logo again there.
Oh my god, let's do it! I think we could sell at least like 6. We got a few listeners.
Don't over tip our hand too much, Chris. If you want some of those, hit us up, jackasspod@gmail.com or on any of our socials, JackassPod on Instagram and Twitter. Maybe we'll bring them out. I'd wear one.
Why not? Let's just do it, even if we just have to make some for ourselves.
Well, speaking of wieners, I know I got one that you can tie up and that'll lead us into the next segment. Yeah, the next segment that we're talking about.
What?
You tie a string to
your penis.
Tie a string to it, drop a brick off of a thing.
Oh, okay.
Now you got the penis drop.
Too literal there.
Yeah.
What? We're going to drop bricks off of scaffolding, but yes, Mikey, there are strings attached to every penis on deck for this one, of which there are 4, but 2 strings are too short to reach the ground. Oh, man, this is like the worst kind of Russian roulette. I would not want to take part in this one. Ties are fastened securely around the balls, just under the scrotes there. And yeah, when we get the drop here, you know, it's SteveO, it's Dave England, it's who are the other two? Sorry,
it's
my memory
Poopies
is
and
shit. Regardless, the losers here are Dave England and SteveO, who, yeah, they get the tugging. Dudes, like when they drop I was already just wincing when they drop the bricks, and then when you see the amount of force that these tug with, and it's not slow-mo or anything, it's just real time. It's just, there's just something in me that died a little bit when I saw that.
Honestly, this is one of the worst ones. Like, how did they know this wasn't going to be worse? Like, this is, it's, oh no, sorry. It was Chris Pontius, by the way, was the other person in this stunt. But how did they not know? How did they know that this wasn't going to really cause damage? Like the fact that they tie the brick around the nuts and the dick, that like you're going to pop, and I just don't understand how this didn't end up worse. This seems to be like one of the worst things you can do. It ended pretty bad, to be honest. But
it really depends on what kind of knot you do.
The ironic part about that is not having the double nuts is what caused the big problem.
Yeah, Dave only has one ball, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't get that latch. So, like, SteveO's, the rope broke eventually. Dave England almost tore his fucking nutsack off. They were talking about this on SteveO's podcast when they were on together last week. And it's funny because SteveO looked down and very quickly realized his rope was too short and realized Dave England's is too short. And he said that to Dave on the podcast. He's like, yeah, when I said the thing, and Dave's like, I didn't even know. I didn't even think to look. He's like, and I was really pissed off when you told me because then I knew what was about to happen. And they were both like, why didn't they just fucking do it to everybody? Why was there two winners and two losers? So you know, like the way they do these things. And the answer was, because they needed more nuts to hurt later on.
Oh,
maybe.
Jesus.
I also think there's a lot of entertainment value when you don't know who's going to get it, though. You know, when you're up there, like, who's it going to be?
I do, too.
I like that element of it. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to rush us here, guys, but I do want to get to the Darkshark skydive. We do have to wrap this one up a little bit shorter than we normally do. So is there anything you want to say, closing thoughts on this one?
I mean, just the fact that Dave England breaks his dick. Like, he's got a bruise on his dick. And I'm finding out through the course of Jackass 4.5, it was a very informative hour and a half for me, because I didn't realize how badly the image of a bruised dick or bruised scrotum would affect me. And it hurts me to my core every time I think about it. But at least Dave had the good humor to make the joke at the end. That stunt was like a bruised dick. You just can't beat it. Like, man, I'm not going to be in the mood to make a joke if that happens to me. Good on him for sticking with it.
You see why I love this guy? That's why.
100%.
Right there.
100%.
Always the good sport about it. And right before we get to this final sketch, there's a little bit of sentimentality here. The guys just talk about how much they love doing these films, how much it meant to them to still be here and be able to do these things. Just a good moment, I thought. It was nice to hear that.
All you have to do is get one jackass character who you're used to being really silly all the time, say something earnest, and then show clips of what the gang used to be doing back when it started, and I legitimately want to cry. Like, it's crazy how much. I just watched a guy bruise his fucking dick by dropping a brick off of scaffolding, and I'm already feeling like I want to cry because I'm seeing two guys like punch each other in the arm. Like, it's crazy the effect that this had. It works on such a subconscious lizard brain level.
Yeah. It's a strange cocktail of emotions. I'm right there with you.
Cocktail indeed, yeah.
And I'll tell you, like, if you want to talk about a cocktail of emotions and probably bodily functions as well, this next one's your cup of tea. This is Darkshark and the skydive. This is the closer of Jackass 4.5, something that I think we could all agree should have probably have been in the movie. But
1,000,000%.
At the least, I'm glad they saved the best for last for this entry into the Jackass movie canon. Darkshark we get a little history on him here as we're driving in the bus to the site where they're going to do the skydive, and we find out that he's been shot 9 times in his life. He used to be a banger, if you don't recall, and he's seen a lot of shit, so this guy's been through it all. This is where we get Tremaine popping on just to say that we need to find something that this man, this hard shell of a man who's been through so much, will truly fear, and I think they found it. No, it's not just bears, it's not fucking birds, it's the skydive. Yeah. And when he's suiting up, he even says to the camera, I'm scared as fuck. He really does not want to do this, but he's pushing forward, and already I'm fucking like, this guy, you know, maybe he wasn't the greatest person earlier in his life, he did some bad shit. You look at him now, it's like, holy shit, you got to admire his courage, because he might be complaining, he might be verbalizing it, but he's putting the suit on, he's getting ready, he struts out to the strip, like he's all in on this fucking thing. And I'm just excited to dive right into, no pun intended, this one.
He, for somebody that they showed a clip of, has only flown 1 time in his entire life and was literally crying. No,
he wasn't crying. He just had tears in his eyes. That's what he says.
So
he wasn't crying. He had tears in his eyes.
Well, let me correct myself. For a man that only flew 1 time in his life and had tears in his eyes, and I love how you see Tyler, the Creator, there, Jay, by the way, in there egging him on. But the fact that he went from 1 flight and tears in his eyes to skydiving is. Mm-hmm. Like, give this fucking guy a medal, man. Honestly, we can make fun of it and say what you want, but like we were talking about the other episode, you're subject to what you're subject to, and it's crazy how your brain will overcompensate for this or that, and he could be the toughest human being on a street level. Shit that I would see would make me fucking literally probably shit my pants. He's probably laughing and vice versa.
Oh, you wouldn't
there's
shit
just
your
poo
pants.
in my pants.
There's poo in your pants. That's it.
There's just poo in my pants.
You just had poo in your butt.
I fucking love you. Thank you, Mikey. You're back in my good graces for at least a little bit. But he's just, as someone that has phobias, watching him go through this, like, I see snakes and my reactions are unrealistic. A phobia is an unrational fear. Mm-hmm. And
some might say
people
irrational.
are thinking people are saying if he's hamming this up in this. Sorry, Mikey, you threw me off there. He's not hamming this up. This is pure, unadulterated fear. And the clenched fist that he gets into whenever Darkshark is scared, it's genuine, and I fucking love that. I love his character. I hope that he isn't just a throw-in as Jasper's dad. I hope he is part of the Jackass crew, because he, next to Poopies, may be my favorite person that's added to the crew. And I just want to leave that off like that.
Well said. No, I agree. I think he brings a lot to the table. I actually, before we get into the detail of it, and kind of to add on to that, like, almost contrary to what you guys are saying, I don't think that this one would have been a good fit for the movie, because it lacks a little bit more of the creativity. Like, the reaction is the best reaction that we've gotten in a long time. But like,
he literally questioned his whole life, like Jay was saying. Like Jay's like, he might have had like been a bad person later on. Like, he was like, I'm dying and I'm going to hell.
Yes.
Please forgive me, God. Like, and Jasper even says he's been a better person since this moment. He questioned life and death. He thought he was dead.
So the reaction, the reaction is maybe the best reaction we've ever gotten from a prank, bar none, in Jackass. But you're going up against the crazy elaborate set piece of Aaron McGahey getting kidnapped and thrown in the trunk of a car, thinking he was going to, like, there's something about the orchestration of that I think took it to another level. And I just don't know that it would work to put any other prank as, like, trying to compete with that in the movie. It was good, but I think it was great for a 4.5 and not for the mainline movie. That
for
said,
me, this would be a 10 out of 10 in the movie.
Oh, really? Do you agree with that, Jay? Are you the same
this could have been the closer. Sorry, Jay.
10 out of 10, maybe not quite there with you, but I will say that I think had they put it in the movie after you got introduced to who Darkshark is, his story a little bit, and then they put this somewhere near the end, I think it would have hit pretty hard, and I think you would leave the theater feeling good. Like, it's a feel good moment when the guy fucking hits the ground and everybody's celebrating.
That's such a good point, Jay.
And we're gonna get there.
Yeah,
let's talk
go
about the
through
meat of this thing, because we haven't even touched on it yet. So I guess I'll just say it now, because you're probably watching along with us, so it's not really spoiling it. But Boyd the pilot is in on the joke. He is going to be going up there and at some point gonna create some turbulence on the plane to just, make it a little worse for him. And not only that, they've also got him planning to jump out of the plane and just ditch the guys up there. I assume, they're not just they don't have the budget to just crash planes all willy-nilly. So yes, don't worry, they've got a backup pilot. But Jasper knows, but
before
Darkshark
they
does
even
not.
go up, I learned two things that I think were integral to this stunt before they even go up in the plane. One is that apparently some planes are rectangular prisms that look like a Coffee Crisp chocolate bar that can barely take off the ground. I was very disappointed in watching this plane take off. I just saw Top Gun Maverick and I wanted way more agility to my flights. The second thing is that Jasper calls his dad Darkshark, which is so crazy to me. That is bonkers.
Do you think it's a stage thing, though?
Mikey, you never called Dad Killer B?
Dad would love it if we called him Killer B. He fancies himself.
I call him Killer B sometimes.
I've literally never done that, and I don't think you have either.
I think with this whole thing, guys, we got to point out as well that him going like up in the plane, it's a full plane. Like, he's not up there with just a few of them. Like, there's a bunch of guys all in on this fucking thing. The way that he's bracing himself against Knoxville and Jasper, he's got his like elbows out into them. He's breathing deep. Like, you can tell he's not having a good time from the moment that fucking plane left the ground. And if things aren't bad enough, Knoxville's sitting there giving him the report the whole way up, reporting on how many feet they've cleared. And he's doing this, like, without fail every 30 seconds. And I really got to ask whether or not he actually knows the current height off the ground. I think that's anyone's guess, but
I think it's anyone's guess, but I think Johnny felt legitimately awkward. You can tell he doesn't look like the charismatic Johnny. He's not leaning into it the way he would with like his typical, like, dress up as an old dude and let his grandson drink whiskey with him and then talk shit to a skateboarder like he did in one of the, I think it was one of the movies. But in this one, it was the thing that struck me the most about that interaction is he's actually kind of like feeling awkward, knowing that it's for the movie, but he's kind of pulling back or like leaning and seeing how far he can do it. But Jasper at one point looks at him and shakes his head like, no, it's not a good idea. Like you don't realize this isn't a movie anymore, man. Like literally does that.
He
like
will shoot you, rich ass.
Dude, like you're fucked when we land this thing. And Jasper, you can tell, is now more afraid of his dad and the beating he's going to get when they hit the ground, more so than actually skydiving.
If there were any thoughts in Darkshark's mind about a beating, I think they all flew out the hatch when they fucking opened it and the pilot starts shaking the plane, and you can just tell, like, at that moment, he even says in a little voiceover that he thought he was going to die. Like, he's sure this was it. That's the end. And then, they've faked smoke on the plane. They got a smoke machine. The pilot comes out with an extinguisher to put it out. He hardly fucking tries. Like one squirt, then he's like, I can't put the fire out. You guys are on your own. And he's just fucking gone. He just jumps out, like in and out. And what I really admired here, and I hope you guys will agree, is that Darkshark just says, fuck it. He looks at the situation and he goes, fuck it, I'm going to do it. He starts stepping forward on his own to jump out of the fucking plane. Like, he knows it. Like, even if he found out that, they're just fucking with me, none of this is actually a concern, he just decided, you know what, I've had enough waiting, let's fucking jump. I thought that was cool. Dude, he jumps out of the plane like a fucking anime character who's hurling to Earth like he's gonna punch it in the face when he gets there. Doesn't give a fuck that it's Mother Earth. He doesn't care about Earth's gender. He's face first going down to the ground like, I'll fucking kill you, Earth. And the Earth was scared. The Earth was scared of him just like everyone else on the ground was. I thought he was gonna land and hit the ground like Goku in Dragon Ball Z, and there was gonna be like a crater-sized impact and the dust was gonna fly up everywhere.
And Johnny Knoxville just been Piccolo just sitting on the sideline like
oh my god. Yeah, no, you're totally right, Mikey. He goes out with a vengeance and it's fucking brilliant. The whole way down he's yelling and screaming. He starts out angry, but I think by the time they've pulled the chute, like that's when he starts apologizing to God, and like he thinks like, I think you're right. He still thinks he might die, even though it's almost over. But we got to talk about real quick. I'm going to have to jet. You guys will have to wrap up this episode without me, but I do want to point out that when Knoxville jumps out, he didn't realize the straps were not secure around his shoulders.
That's fucked up.
Which is sketchy as fuck. This is not something they planned, obviously. This is not staged. This is real. And you see him struggling there for a bit, trying to get this thing on. Luckily, right when they pull the chute, he does get it snugged back up. But holy shit, what a fucking close call. And this is in 4.5. Like, if they never released this, we wouldn't have known that Knoxville almost fucking died skydiving on the set of this movie. It fucking blew my mind when I saw that.
It's crazy to think about it. Yeah. All right.
Please continue,
just like the pilot on the flight, Jay fucking abandoning ship.
he's abandoning ship.
And we're on our own.
That's it.
And now I'm bitter because I got to deal with this fucking guy over here.
Just do me a favor, though.
I don't have Jay buffering it.
Do me a favor, though. When you get to it, talk about the third wipe, will you?
Oh, yeah, 100%. We have to. In your honor, Jay, we will talk about the third wipe. All right. So Jay, thanks for steering the ship thus far. We'll see you on the other side in our next episode. And thanks for seeing us safely through to the end of Jackass 4.5. So now that Jay has jumped out of the plane officially, it's crazy that I almost thought we were going to move past the fact that Johnny nearly died, fell out of his thing because everyone was so focused on Darkshark and how concerned he was. But it's what I love about this is you get that crazy energy of him hurtling towards the earth and yelling and screaming. And then it cuts to his interviews where he very earnestly says, I gave up on living for the first time in my life. And you see it in his eyes. It's almost
That's why
sad.
he jumped out like that. He was like, I might as well just suck it up and just deal with it now. He genuinely believed he was going to die.
Yeah, it was intense. It was I was there for
like
it.
when I'm camping?
just like when you're camping, it's very intense. A joke that is fantastic. I don't know who you've ever heard that from, but whoever made it up must.
I made it up on the spot.
Oh, you did right now. Okay, wow,
Yeah.
very well done.
Yeah.
Listen, when you're about to die, you're going to have to apologize to God for lying on a podcast. That's the number one scene.
I want on my tombstone to say, Mikey, you're my brother. You have to respect my wishes when I die, and I'm clearly going to die first. Camping, intense. Chris Aaronworth's joke. 2026.
Here's the thing, like, I will do that. And in my mind, it will be my joke that I played on you.
Yeah, but everybody else is going to come visit,
Because
give me
that's
flowers, and realize I made the best joke ever.
Oh, this is awkward, Chris, but I hate to tell you, no one's going to visit your tombstone to give you flowers. I hate to be the one to break the news. No one's planning on that.
Literally couldn't even respond to that because I just... Fuck. That got so real so quick, and that's the reason why I'm like, that was a good joke, because it's fucking sad and true. And
Oh, man. Well, listen, I'll apologize to God for that joke. The fact that he actually yells to the sky, "I'm sorry, God." And it all the while, this is where I want to draw attention to the fact that this isn't Darkshark alone. He's in a tandem skydiving situation. And through all of this, some instructor has to deal with his life flashing before his eyes, his trying to make peace with the Lord before he splats into the ground, the yelling, the screaming, the pleading, like, just get me down on the ground, as though the parachute can go any faster. And, you know, good on him. He is just a blank slate, this instructor. He's not reacting at all. But when they finally hit the ground, and you guys were saying it's like a real, like, feel good moment when he hits the ground, they're laying there. The whole Jackass crew comes. They're hugging him. They're high fiving. Yeah, Darkshark, Darkshark. The whole time, the instructor is there with Darkshark laying on top of him, and he's just sitting back against the grass while everyone's hugging, and the instructor's like, I guess this is my 15 minutes of fame. I'll be in the Jackass movie or whatever. Just a good trooper that he was.
I would have, like, finagled Darkshark and been like, you know, bro, I'll get you down here, but you owe me one murder. I'll call you at any given time, and you have to complete this duty. Otherwise, God will put you in hell.
Now,
and we will die right now.
Now, I'm off the table. Who would the murderer be?
Yeah.
Who would you murder?
I can answer that so easily.
Okay.
And you know exactly who it is, but I'm not going to say it on the podcast.
Oh,
you know exactly
I have some guesses, but yeah, let's not talk about that on the podcast. Wow, getting real again. Look at us. Look at us.
Exactly, because it's real. I didn't even have to bat an eyelash at it, but you know, and it's probably the same person as you too.
Yeah, it probably is. Let's any other closing thoughts on this skydiving stunt?
No, I just loved it. It was good. I would have been way more happy if this was the ending of the movie than the actual ending of the movie. As we all know, I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending of the movie, and this had a way better exclamation point for me.
Yeah, it was good. I think it would have been too big a comparison 1-to-1 with Danger Aaron's stunt against him at the end of Jackass 2 if they ended it with a stunt. But you know, I wouldn't have complained if it were in the movie, but I think this is like ripe for 4.5. And I always wonder, like, do you think there are...
You don't think this was better than the spin around, the milk chug, the paintballs, that whole bullshit scene?
I actually liked that. I think the only issue with that one is that they didn't let the Vomitron go long enough, because I love to watch people drink milk and throw up. I do it all the time. I'll ask you this question. Do you think that they film some stunts kind of knowing that they're doing it for the 0.5 release? Like, they have to film. I mean, I know they're going to film too much for the movie anyway, but do you think some of them, they kind of know going into it that, like, this is going to be a 4.5 thing?
No, I don't think so. I think they just get as much content as possible. They have the stunts, and then they have to kind of weave it into almost a storyboard that has to go sequentially in a certain way. Like, I think they just see it as just a bunch of random segments here and here, but clearly the people that are editing this go with what works, because there's a lot of shit in here that could have easily been in the movie and it wasn't. So
yeah, I definitely think that they curate some things. Like they curate the flow of the movie, and that may mean that there's just no logical point to put in other stunts and stuff, and some things get stuck on the cutting room floor. That's why I'm so happy we get these 0.5 releases as well. Speaking of things that are stuck on the cutting room floor, we move now to the credits, and it seems like there's still so much that we didn't see. Like, I just want them to show us everything. I want Tremaine to send me a truck full of, as Chris drops another thing. Jesus Christ.
Fuck you.
That was on the table too, and Jay's not here to
No,
moderate.
it's my ring. I was playing with my ring.
Fuck me. Fuck the listener.
No, you're boring me with your stupid talks, and I was playing with my ring.
Okay, fair. It was your ring. I want Jeff Tremaine to send a truck to my place with all the tape that they filmed and just dump it. I don't need them to edit it. I don't need anything. I want to see every outtake. I want to see every behind the scenes thing. I want to see the hundreds of hours of film that they've sent us just forever. It would make me so happy to go through and watch all that shit. I get such a kick out of it.
I totally agree. That would be amazing.
You actually mentioned, Chris, I think it was one of the earlier episodes when it was Irving Zisman getting rolled to the old folks home and pulling the fire alarm. You're like, wouldn't people catch on to the fact that this is Jackass? Like, don't people, who doesn't know what Jackass is? And you get a segment in the credit sequence, and I do want to spend some more time with the credit sequence because it's there's a lot there. Like, it feels like they're really just pushing everything out that they know they're not going to have a space for, unless we get like a Jackass 4.75, which would be phenomenal. I would love that. But there's one person in the prank who does know. He's like, I think I've seen this shit on Jackass, and Johnny says, I don't think those guys are around anymore. So there's your answer. Some people definitely do pick up on it.
Yeah, I wasn't the one that said that. It was definitely Jay. I was talking about how the whole generations, like new millennials and things along those lines, that wouldn't necessarily know these things. But
True. Were there any moments, let me ask you, that stood out to you in the credit sequence?
I might have stopped watching before the credits.
How did you not watch the credits? Were amazing. What are you talking about? Why would you do that?
I didn't even realize it happened, to be completely honest. That's why I was getting ready to wrap it up, and that kind of threw me off a little bit. So rattle them out, and I'll laugh with it.
Okay, how about this? It's welcome to show and tell, baby. It's show and tell moment here. There's a moment. Do you remember the? I think it was from season 2 or 3 of Jackass, where they do the face your fears stunt. They like roll onto the floor. Danger Aaron does that into Jackass's asshole and gets stuck. The weirdest thing about it, and this goes back, yeah, right? You should have watched it.
I gotta watch it right after this, to be honest.
The weirdest part about it is, and this goes back to what I was saying in the Jackass sashimi segment. After they're done, Jackass vomits. He's repulsed by his own body. Like, Jackass just laid down and he got eaten out. That's fine. But he threw up when Aaron put his face in his asshole, which was a little bit funny there, actually. There's a moment where Nick Merlino, and I've learned a lot about Nick Merlino in this as well. There's one quick segment where he's walking into a house and he turns to the camera and he says, "Oh wait, sorry, what's your name? Is it Felix?" And you hear the guy behind the camera obviously say, "No, it's Lance." And Nick's like, "Oh right, sorry." Imagine having one of those fuck ups immortalized for the rest of your life. Like, we've all had those and they feel fucking awful. And yours gets in a movie with one of the most recognizable members of Jackass, quote unquote members, but Lance bangs. Everyone knows Lance bangs.
Lance definitely bangs, first and foremost. Also,
Lance definitely bangs.
You gotta watch King of the Road, and that's where I know Nick Merlino from. And he is like the best guy on the show. They just drive around in a van, each skate team, and they have to complete challenges.
Oh, nice.
Like, someone would be like, who can make out with the most girls? And fucking, if you make out with 100 girls in a day, you get this amount of points. If you back lip slide fucking 12 set, you get this amount of points. So it's a combination between skateboarding and living reckless, and it was put on by the guy Jake from Thrasher, and he passed away and they never kept it going, which to me is a travesty of that guy's death. Like, that was his legacy and he loved it, and they made no money off it. It was a web series forever, but anybody that could check it out, if you like skateboarding, it's one of the greatest things, and you'll get to really see who Nick is and who Jaws is, and a few of the other guys that were actually in this. So it's pretty awesome. Just want to throw that out there.
That's amazing. That reminds me of Viva La Bam when they do the scavenger hunt. It's kind of the same sort of vibe there, right?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Just degenerate skateboarders.
In that TV series, because I've noticed as well, there's another segment in the credits where Nick Merlino goes to get a coffee and he gets that prank where the inflatable thing comes out and hits him. He always has a skateboard tucked under his arm all the time. And I'm going back, like, I think even probably in the musical Chairs, he probably had a fucking skateboard tucked under his arm. Everywhere he goes, he has one. And it just becomes like an appendage of him. Like, it's just like a necklace or a bracelet or like a third arm or something like that. It's great.
if you're a skateboarding fan, it's like he is the epitome of what skateboarding is to me. It's why I love skateboarding. He just lives, breathes, and dies skateboarding. That's why I was really wanted him to be part of this, and I really want him to make this because, you know, you don't make that much money being a skate rat. Like, you know, if you're a commercial skateboarder or some of those guys that have the big companies and do this, but like to get a guy like him, like, he deserves a break because he's putting his body on the line fucking day in, day out.
Well, hopefully we get to see more of him. I'd love that. He seems great. He and Jaws, you know, they weren't featured too prominently in the movie, but hopefully it means more for them down the line. The movie ends with, the credits end with such a sweet moment that I found absolutely endearing. The interviewer, it's Jeff and Spike, and they're sitting there talking. You know, they've talked this whole movie. They've talked their way through the production, and she leads off with one question, an expert question, because she knows exactly what the fuck is going to happen. She says to Jeff and Spike, between the two of you, who's stronger? And Jeff immediately is like, I'm stronger. Like, obviously I'm stronger. And then there's the question of who would win in a fight. And he's like, I will say this. Spike is like annoying to fight. He's wiry. And he's stronger than he looks. I did
see that part.
Yeah.
Weird.
And it obviously deteriorates into them literally just fighting on set. Like, this is an interviewer who fucking knows her subject so well that by implanting like 2 words, who's stronger, she's going to see a fight on set. And that was great. And it shows, I think, ultimately about Jackass is the minds behind it know way more about human psychology than you would ever believe. They know what makes us laugh. They know what makes us sentimental. They know what it feels like what the core elements of just hanging out with your friends is. And they somehow manage to recapture that time and time again. And I'm going to miss 4.5. I'm going to miss Jackass forever. Everything we've done has led up to this moment, Chris. So any closing thoughts, or you want to get into our MVPs, LVPs?
Let's get into the MVPs.
All right, so I'll lead off with Jay's, and then why don't you give us yours? His MVP, he's going to say, his most valuable player for the segment is Darkshark for facing his fears and going Super Saiyan. Yeah, that's absolutely true. He did go Super Saiyan. Chris, do you have an MVP on this one?
Every single time the person that goes before me picks my MVP. So next time I get to go first, all right? Let's work that out. Fair. But it is Darkshark. As someone that has a crippling phobia of snakes, I just have so much respect for. He is, like I was mentioning before, could be the future of Jackass. Like the way he is, his attitude. I just love everything about the guy, man. He's a fucking legend, and I want to see more of him. I
think I would go with actually, look, I think Darkshark is kind of the easy answer for this one, but I do want to show some love. You're not going to like this one, but I'm going to show some love to the tennis player, because I just didn't think it was possible to be so accurate with a tennis serve, nailing people's nuts. It made me laugh so hard. I loved it so much.
I've seen your serve, and I understand why you could think that's not possible.
No, I know. It's crazy that I still beat you every time with no serve. I just don't understand how that's possible.
Whatever. I got a couple of years on you, so.
Yeah, you had more years to practice.
Just trying to like beat up an old guy, whatever.
An old guy.
That's what it is. I had gout, and Mikey's fucking making me run back and forth on my right fucking ankle to try and fuck me up. Like, he has no fucking compassion. He's just he's a heartless guy.
Know your opponent's weakness.
He's the Hitler of the podcast.
Know your opponent's weakness, and my and I know that your weakness is playing tennis. So we play all the time.
Mikey, I know your weakness is getting frustrated, and I stopped doing that because I didn't want to ruin your day. I used to, like, literally when me and Mikey played tennis, I would like hit the ball just to make a move a little bit. And he didn't realize it at first, and then he started realizing
I absolutely picked up
on
it.
So he would get really annoyed. I would just purposely knock it away from him, and it started to fuck with his head. So the only way I beat Mikey is when I play these mind games, and he gets so fucking angry at me. That's the only way. But he fucking throws his rackets. We'd walk back from the tennis courts to our house, and he would walk like 15 feet behind me, so mad, and it made me so uncomfortable. I had to let him win. So maybe that's your strength, is to make me not play your weakness.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, for someone who's talking a lot of shit about mind games, that sounds like the ultimate mind game. I made you give up your tactic.
As I was talking, and I realized that you just fucking what's that movie? Inception, big time.
Well, listen, let's go into our LVPs. Do you want to give yours before Jay,
sure,
or do you want me to throw his out?
Yeah, I can throw his out.
So Jay's LVP, Dave England's lost ball. Where is it now, he asks. It's a great question. Maybe not the least valuable player, but the lost valuable player in this one.
That's a pretty good one, actually. Obviously, I'm going with that stupid tennis bitch. I
Oh,
really
come
don't like her.
on. She
Don't
was
know
great.
why. I fucking hate her.
Why?
Don't like her, man. It's her face. It bugs me. I don't like her. I just don't like her. I'd rather have sex with, like, you.
Well, a lot of people probably would.
Yeah, because she has a stupid face. I fuck her. She's the LVP. Don't like her. It is what it is.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so LVP.
How's that fair? That's not fair at all.
I don't know what to say to you to get you to stop making fun of this poor, very talented woman. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna give the LVP. And this one kind of cuts both ways. I'm giving it to. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Jeff Tremaine. You know why I'm gonna give it to Jeff Tremaine? Because I need him to release more. I need more cuts. I need more edits. I need a Jackass 4.75. Okay. I need a Jackass 4.78, 4.9, 5, whatever the fuck I need. Jeff, you get the perpetual LVP 4.69. How could I forget Jackass 4.69? You get the perpetual LVP until you release more of this fucking movie because I can't get enough. And also thank you so much for doing this.
That's a good one. I like that.
Well, that's about it. Holy shit, guys, wrapping this up. When we first started this podcast, I know we kind of gave this spiel before we wrapped up Jackass Forever, but we started this with the intention of reviewing the Jackass TV show, rolling it into Jackass Forever, and the momentum has kept us going. We appreciate all the support that everyone has given us. Make sure, if you haven't done this already, we say it all the time, and I feel like it's falling on deaf ears sometimes because you hear us say it all the time, but make this the week that you go on to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and you leave us a 5-star rating.
Both.
It goes both. Yeah, fucking why not both? Make an account.
And YouTube. Fucking subscribe and like. Like, I don't think, you know how you see all these fucking nerds saying, smash the like button, smash the like button. It really makes a massive difference for the algorithm. One fucking person legitimately shifts the algorithm in our favor. You want us to keep going. We want to keep going, and we're going to keep going regardless. But fucking give us a bit of fucking support, man.
No, it's true. And
otherwise, fucking, I'm going to make you have to look at that tennis bitch in the face for a little while.
Or maybe we'll give you the LVP next time. And here's the thing. Ultimately, what we want to do is create a community of people who love talking about Jackass. The community gets bigger the more exposure we get. We get more exposure when the people who are already listening show us support by leaving ratings and reviews. So please make sure to do that. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JackassPod. So for Jay himself,
bye, I'm Jason Wellwood.
Bye, I'm Jason Wellwood. Fuck you. Bye.
Hell happened?
I just got back, boys.
That
You're
scared
still
me.
going.
That scared me so much.
You're still
you know
going.
when you like somebody, you're like talking to shit about someone and they fucking tap you on the shoulder. You're like, oh my god, were you there the whole time?
The whole time.
No, well, I heard you say tennis bitch a few times, and I'm like, I better pop in and just sign off at least. Hey, did you guys talk about the third wipe?
Uh-oh.
You didn't talk about the third wipe. I gave you one thing to do. One thing. And there was a joke opportunity in there to say, oh, Jay, I bet he has 0 wipes and everything. And you didn't even
we didn't.
Fucking just throwing you fucking fastballs right down center plate. And you're not even swinging at them.
Jackass-sized fastballs. Holy shit, and we missed it.
Yeah. It's all right. We'll have a special bonus episode dedicated strictly to the third wipe. Stay tuned for that. Until then, bye. I'm Jason Wellwood.
Bye. I'm Chris Aaronworth.
Bye. I'm Mikey Aaronworth. And this has been Jackast.
Furnished by Sad Styles Productions.
Get into it!